Hi everybody, welcome to Plant Liker episode 4.
Oh, here's another day where I appreciate plant life. Fuck you! I love plants!
I am sorry for that little 2 weeks off there, or whatever it was. I had kind of a wacky couple weeks, and I mean wacky in a different way than some other people might use that term. Actually, I did go to California, so that was a little trip in there, but a lot of it was not that busy. I was just in a wacky headspace is a lot the past week or two. And it's been, I don't know what it is. It's like, and I've posted on the internet about my struggles with self-doubt and low self-confidence over the past year or two. I've posted on the internet about that a couple different places, a couple times over the past year or so. But this isn't, I don't think it's exactly self-doubt, although it may be working in conjunction with that to some degree. It's really just that I have this perception sometimes that the internet is a scary place, that there's a lot of mean people on there and hateful and unforgiving, and it sometimes gets me a little scared to be somebody who posts on the internet prolifically and has an audience. It makes me feel sometimes that I don't actually want to be a public figure. The things that I see on the internet that stir up these fears or feelings in me are sometimes quite irrational for me to worry about. Sometimes it's something that somebody actually said about me. Somebody who doesn't really know my work that well, insulting me or insinuating that my work has a message that it's not actually in the work. They're just sort of making a caricaturized version of me and insulting me. Or sometimes it's just a vague insult that doesn't really say anything about me. It's just like basically Steve Rogenbuck sucks. But that'll sometimes still get under my skin if I'm already in a bad mood about something, or if that person seems like a cool person for some reason. So other things they post seem cool. Other times it has nothing to do with me. It's just other people who have public figures of different types, artists or politicians or who knows what, just people who have fucked up and are being brutally criticized and attacked and insulted and all this. And a lot of times it's deserved, probably. And it's not stuff that I'm doing, so I shouldn't be that worried about it, honestly. But it just makes me realize, sometimes I reflect that, even the people who are doing a good job at being a public figure, they still get a lot of shit, Even the people who are really putting their heart into it and their, best intentions in the world, everybody fucks up. And when you're in the spotlight, you get attacked for that. And you get attacked even when you do things right, because everybody has a different opinion, so some people are going to disagree with you anyway. Anyway, I don't know even what it was that got me thinking about all that stuff over the past week or two, but that's where my head's been, and that's why I haven't been posting on the internet much lately. And this is just me letting you a little bit into my world. It's something that is a really toxic, disempowering thought pattern for me to get on, because my career is posting on the internet, and even more important than that, I feel that my life purpose is posting on the internet. Possibly, not necessarily posting on the internet, but speaking in front of people. Speaking to groups of people. That's what my gift is, I feel like. And if I'm scared of people being mean in response to that, if I'm scared of not everybody liking it or whatever, then that's a pretty big barrier for me. That's a pretty big problem. So that's something that I've been just trying to push through as much as I can, but some days it's too much, and I feel like I can't push through it, and I just don't make the new video, and I don't make the new podcast episode. I'm sorry. Other times I'm able to push through it, and I've been trying to cultivate that willfulness. There was an important quote that I found last year. Somebody said, "Wobbly courage is still courage." That was very inspiring to me because, there might be something that you are scared to do or not sure that you have the strength to do, but, you don't have to always be totally unbreakable strength. You don't always have to be 100% confident and secure in yourself. You just have to be courageous enough to get it done. You just have to be just barely brave enough, So wobbly courage is still courage. That's been very important to me. And also, a couple weeks ago, I was posting on Snapchat about this quote by Shunryu Suzuki. Maybe I even mentioned it in the last podcast. I can't remember now because it's been a little while. But the Shunryu Suzuki quote where he said, we just do what we should do. That's, well, for him, Buddhism. But I think it's just a good way to live is to try to do what you should do, even if you don't always feel like doing it in that moment. And that's been something I've been trying to realize, that like over the past year, struggling with lack of self-confidence, and I tried backing away from being a person on the internet. And then it was actually, that sucked a lot too. Not posting on the internet sucked for me because I felt like I wasn't fulfilling my purpose. I felt like I have this ability to impact people with my words and my videos, my voice over the internet in these places. I have an amazing opportunity to do that, and I'm not doing it. And that felt bad too. So now I've just sort of made this very logical decision, or whatever it is. I've made a very firm decision that, oh yes, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what my purpose on earth is. And so that sometimes gives me a little courage to just do that, even when I don't feel like it. Just push through it, get the wobbly courage, do it, get it done. But anyway, that's a lot of little stuff for you to just be led into my world and my feelings, my emotional states and everything. And it does help when people are very encouraging to me about my work. But I already have a lot of screenshots of people saying nice things about me and my work. I always screenshot it when people say something very heartfelt to me in a message about my work impacting their life. So I thank everybody who has supported me like that. But I think a lot of this is, I've got enough messages already. I don't necessarily need more, I need to just I don't know what I need to do next, but I will try to, hopefully I will be able to keep making things for you on the internet, and keep getting you this podcast. This podcast could turn out really good. We don't really know. It might not. Maybe this podcast will die the F out like my last one. Nice. Okay, well, that's enough for now on that. If you want to hear me speak more about this subject, you can also watch my video from last year called Choose to Be Brave on YouTube. Sort of address the same topic a little bit. And I also tweet about this subject sometimes, but not usually too in-depth, I guess, because it's just tweets. But anyway, I do love everyone listening to this on a personal and non-personal level. Okay, now, I do want to at least get to one other thing. I haven't planned that much for this episode, but I'm like, all right, I'm going out to record another episode. I'm out in the backyard again behind Boost House. Woo! I wanted to speak to this topic of veganism and pets. Somebody Twitter DM'd me about this, but also I've gotten questions about it before that from other people. Somebody said, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have the quote in front of me. They said, I love my dogs so much. Humans and dogs. Amazing connection, right? Amazing thing. But I feel so guilty about owning him. So this is, this is a question about ownership of non-human animal lives by humans, I think, first I'll say, good question. Well, I guess I don't know if it's really a question the way I worded it, but basically, yeah, good question. It is something to think about. is if we're opposed to using non-human animals, if vegans at least, but maybe more of us as well, and theoretically in our heads, if we're opposed to using other living beings without their consent, imposing limitations on others' lives, there cannot be clear consent between humans and non-human animals. We can sort of, there's communication, but there's not verbal consent, obviously. If we're against imposing our will and our choices on other animals, limiting their life, putting them, in cages, confining them, forcing them to work for us on farms, or pulling carriages around town, or training, horses to do tricks or elephants to do tricks. And if that feels wrong to us, forcing these lives onto other animals, making them do work that we choose for them, splitting up their family without their consent, taking, hey, we're going to sell your puppies over to this other family, say goodbye to your babies, because you don't have a choice. We make the choices. If we feel bad about all that stuff, then it's a good point. Should we feel bad about having a pet dog or pet cat or whatever it is? And basically my answer overall is that it's complicated, and overall I don't think it's a problem to have pets. I think it's usually, in a lot of the individual cases, I think it's a good thing for those pets, and I think a lot of pet owners mean very well to do it, and I think a lot of times it does help those animals' lives, because a lot of those individuals we're going to be killed, or we're going to be living some other far worse life. But it is something to think about. And it is something not just to think about in a theoretical sense, like, whoa, wow, what, theory of this, philosophy, but also in a practical sense. I think it's valuable sometimes to let yourself feel that cognitive dissonance about that. If you feel bad for controlling your dog's life, for not, for putting limits on your dog, then let yourself feel that sometimes and see if you can be moved to improve your dog's life any other ways, Because yes, being a responsible pet owner will require you to sometimes put limits on where your pet can go in order to take care of them and stuff, in the same way that a parent needs to put limits on their children to prevent them from running out in the street and all this. But you can still be like, well, how can I put the fewest limitations on this dog's life? How can I give this dog the best possible life, even within this context where there's human ownership or something, really think about that. And, I think it would be cool if there was even more humans who are like, I've got this dog in this little apartment, my next place that I live, I should really prioritize getting a big yard with a fence, or getting someplace out in the country where the dog can even run free in the woods, or I don't know what the solution would be, but, really even, thinking about it, considering it as you make bigger life decisions and stuff too. I don't know. Now, the other thing that comes up with this discussion is theoretical stuff about long-term, these animals cannot live without humans. They've been bred to be dependent on humans. So what's the long-term solution with pets? In a vegan world, quote-unquote vegan world, would there be dogs at all? Would there be cats or whatever? But basically I don't really know. I don't really know that stuff. But basically what I think is that I think once there's a shitload more people who actually give a fuck about non-human animals and respecting them and respecting their respecting their freedom, basically, I think once there's a shitload more people who care about that, there will be a lot more good solutions to what to do long term. So I don't think it's real, and I think that's going to take a while. So I don't think I need to personally have those solutions now. I've heard people say things about animal sanctuaries being a very important thing in this process. but I don't really know much about it. So that's what I feel, and all right. Now, I have no idea what is happening in the NFL right now. I shouldn't say no idea. That's a lie. I know that the Super Bowl is coming up. I don't know what the teams are. I think the teams have been decided. What if I never find out the teams? I think I already knew that one team is the Denver Broncos, though, because I came together with a few pieces of information I saw with the help of the internet, but I was online and I saw... No, I was not online. I was in the world, and I was walking down a sidewalk in Los Angeles this past week, and I was walking to Staples. It was a long walk, but we were trying to use the printers there, and it was fucked up. It was not a convenient trip. So I'm not advertising Staples by saying this, because actually I had not the best experience with Staples. So fuck Staples to some degree. But anyway, I was walking, and somebody yelled at me and my friend walking down the sidewalk. They yelled, "Yeah, Broncos!" And I looked at them, and I did not say anything back because I did not know what they were talking about. And I just kept walking. But then I was like, oh, it's Sunday. There was a football game. And then I saw something else online that said the Broncos won. So I know the Broncos are going. Good job. I don't know who the other team is. What if I actually successfully don't find out? Guys, everybody listening to this, can you help me not find out who's in the Super Bowl? And if y'all listening to this, if there's other people who don't know, message me. Let's see how many of us can keep not knowing. Let's see. This is a competition right now. If you currently don't know, if you're listening to this before the Super Bowl in 2016, and you currently don't know who's going to be in the Super Bowl, and let's see if we can not find out. Okay. That's the competition. And I think I'm gonna have a good advantage at this, because I'm gonna be in Norway during the Super Bowl again. Last year I was too. Anyway, crap. Is there anything else I want to say? Flaxseed is God's favorite food. That's what I just determined. I just looked at the evidence, and I said, you know what? Flaxseed might be God's favorite food, along with dark leafy greens. Okay? God loves kale. God loves collard greens. God loves spinach. And God loves bok choy. And God loves turnip greens, mustard greens. God loves beet greens. God loves rainbow chard. God loves that stuff, man. I can't wait till I find out what God's favorite fruit is. Well, we got ourselves waning gibbous. It's a hard moon. It's a hard moon phase to deal with. So, good luck, everybody in the waning gibbous. You're going to need it. Trust me, dude. You're going to need it. Anyway, I love you. Thanks for listening. Bye for now. Wait, I have to say the ending. Eat more whole plant foods if you can, and hail Satan if you want to. No pressure.